A high-profile political figure gunned down while speaking at a university. A 22-year-old suspect arrested after a manhunt. Prosecutors now say they will seek the death penalty. We break down what happened, who the suspect is, the evidence officials say they have, and what comes next in the case that has shaken Washington and the nation. If you want clear, step-by-step coverage, hit subscribe and enable alerts. We'll walk this through from the timeline to the courtroom and explain why prosecutors say this could be a capital case. Charlie Kirk was a nationally known conservative activist and the founder of Turning Point USA. He ran a high-profile speaking tour that regularly drew crowds on college campuses. On September 10th, while answering questions at an event at Utah Valley University, Kirk was shot and later died at a nearby hospital. Kirk's work made him a polarizing figure, admired by many on the right and sharply criticized by many on the left, which is one reason this killing sent shockwaves through political circles across the country. According to law enforcement, the shooting occurred outdoors at the UView event. Witnesses and officials say a single bullet struck Kirk in the neck while he was on stage. Several people nearby were narrowly missed. Within roughly 33 hours, authorities had detained and later arrested a suspect. Investigators say surveillance images and forensic evidence pointed to 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Robinson surrendered after a brief manhunt and was booked into a Utah County jail. Officials say DNA evidence was linked to items found with the rifle, and that markings on shell casings suggested unusual engravings. We'll get into the alleged messages and note in a moment. Those exchanges are central to what prosecutors say shows planning and motive. On September 16th, prosecutors filed formal charges against Robinson: aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, obstruction of justice, 2 counts of witness tampering, and committing a violent offense in the presence of a child. Utah County officials announced they intend to seek the death penalty. When a prosecutor announces intent to seek capital punishment, it generally means they believe aggravating circumstances exist. For example, that the killing was premeditated, targeted for political reasons, or occurred where children were present. The choice to pursue death penalty triggers extra procedural steps and usually means the case will be litigated as a capital prosecution. Prosecutors released details from charging documents that, they say, paint a damning picture. They say Robinson left a note saying he had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and later, according to court filings, confessed in a series of messages to a roommate after the shooting. Charging documents cited messages where Robinson allegedly said, "Some hatred cannot be negotiated with," and told his roommate to delete messages and to stay silent. Prosecutors also say shell casings from the scene had engraved phrases referencing memes, a bizarre detail that investigators say may reflect the suspect's online culture. Important note, these are allegations contained in charging documents. In the U.S. justice system, an accused person is presumed innocent until proven guilty in court. Robinson appeared virtually for his first court hearing. A judge ordered him held without bail and appointed counsel after finding him indigent. The court also granted a pretrial protective order for Kirk's widow and family. His next scheduled court dates will focus on preliminary matters, probable cause hearings, filing of qualified capital defense counsel, and pretrial motions. Prosecutors must meet higher procedural standards in a death penalty case, and defense teams will push for evidence review, mental health evaluations, and a fair jury process. The FBI is also involved, and the director told lawmakers the Bureau is interviewing more than 20 people who took part in an online chat where the suspect allegedly confessed. Authorities say they have seized electronic devices, phones, computers, and gaming systems to triage communications and online activity. That online dimension has broadened the probe. Investigators are looking not only at the suspect's actions, but at the digital environment around him, including whether anyone else participated or encouraged the act in chat rooms or social media. Unsurprisingly, the killing and the announcement of a death penalty prosecution produced fierce reactions. Lawmakers on both sides condemned political violence, while some political figures and media personalities demanded answers about rhetoric and responsibility. At the same time, the case has produced polarized commentary online, with grief, calls for calm, accusations that one side or another is to blame, and even threats and celebratory posts that officials have said some agencies are monitoring. Here's what to expect in the near term. Prosecutors will continue to collect and disclose evidence as required. Defense attorneys will evaluate the state's case and likely seek independent examinations. There will be a preliminary hearing to establish probable cause, and if the judge finds the case, an arraignment and then pretrial litigation will follow. Because the death penalty is on the table, extra safeguards apply. Courts review whether the death penalty is appropriate under state law. Defense counsel must meet capital case qualifications, and juries will be selected with special care. Capital trials can be lengthy and complex. This case raises painful questions about violence, political division, and how online life spills into real-world harm. Families are grieving, a community is shaken, and a legal system is now charged with seeking justice while protecting the rights of all involved. We'll keep following this story closely and post updates as court filings and hearings move forward. If you want balanced daily updates, subscribe and hit the bell. Share your thoughts respectfully below. We monitor comments and will pin thoughtful questions for future videos.